This video is brought to you by patreon.com/worsttake. Get access to exclusive live streams and Discord servers, on-screen shoutouts, and early access to some videos when you join now. Help make sure that we can continue to make content like this by supporting the Patreon. Links are in the description down below. All right, so the Browns have their first season-ending injury of the year. Alex Wright with a torn triceps that he claims happened against the Jacksonville Jaguars game. So way back 2 weeks ago, Alex Wright has been apparently playing with a torn triceps. He has decided to get surgery, which means that his season will be over. So Alex Wright's year is done. This stinks a lot for Alex Wright because I really felt like he was making progress. That Jacksonville game showed that he was making a ton of progress. He was one of the edge rushers that you expected to step up with Myles Garrett playing more limited snaps, right? Myles Garrett is at like 73% of the defensive snaps for the Cleveland Browns this year. He usually hovers around 81%. So with Myles playing about 7% less snaps on defense, you need somebody to step up and take over that role. You were hoping that could be Alex Wright with Obo Okoronkwo on the other side and also Zadarius Smith stepping up. Unfortunately, now you don't have that option with Alex Wright. So what the Browns are losing here is a depth piece. They'll probably have to go out and sign somebody, maybe move Isaiah McGuire, who has looked good, and we'll talk about that in just a minute, up to Alex Wright's role. But this stinks first and foremost for Alex Wright. He's had such a up and down start to his Cleveland Browns career. There have been real moments, flashes of brilliance from him as a football player where you think, okay, he's headed in the right direction. Things are going to start getting going for him. And then something happens that derails it, whether it be injury, whether it be a misstep in how he's used, all of these other things. But unfortunately for Alex Wright, this is yet another thing that's getting in the way of his development, a torn triceps. That's going to be a tough one to come back from, too, because that affects how strongly you could work out during the offseason and everything here. Who will the Browns replace Alex Wright with? My best guess is Isaiah McGuire is going to take more snaps. He is the other draft pick that the Browns have in that position. And Isaiah McGuire has done some good work as a run defender. We know him from having that big tackle on the kickoff return last week. He's done some good stuff here, so I don't know if it's a wash, like it's just going to be the same thing that it was with Alex Wright at backup edge, but you do get to give an opportunity to a player who really has been needing to get an opportunity in Isaiah McGuire. So if there's a silver lining, that might be it. Also, Isaiah McGuire has been grading out pretty favorably as a run defender. This team on the defensive line especially needs more run defenders, but just don't love that they're running out of options here to test out because, again, Alex Wright, even if you don't love him as an edge, as a run defender, you can still put him in at 3T because he's big enough, and that's 3-tech. But now you don't have that option. So you're just running out of options to kind of shuffle pieces around on a defensive line that I do think they need to start shuffling some pieces around and maybe even consider if they're willing to do a trade to add another body in here. Because on top of Alex Wright being out, you also have Maurice Hurst being out. You're forced to play Quentin Jefferson in a lot of situations where I just would not play Quentin Jefferson. Your depth is really getting tested there on top of Myles Garrett playing a more limited amount of snaps than what he would usually be at. It's not super limited, but it is more limited than what it's been. Again, the average for 2023 was about 81%. He's down 7 points here to about 74% this year of snaps on the defensive side. Now, will Alex Wright being hurt make any of the problems on the defense worse? Not really. Alex wasn't the strongest edge run defender in the world. He had the same issues setting the edge that we saw with Okoronkwo last week. I think that's why Okoronkwo is out there. Part of the reason the Browns are also getting beat on the edge is because We're not the fastest team out there. We know that Alex Wright is not the fastest athlete in the world. So getting lighter, a little bit more athletic on the edge could help mitigate some of those issues that the Browns are having when it comes to the outside contained stuff that's not going well with this defense. I think the Browns overall will be okay with this loss. This isn't the most major loss in the world. This kind of just sucks more for Alex Wright than it does for the Browns overall. And it's tough too because this is a torn tricep, so this is one of those injuries that just kind of happens when you play football. It's just bad injury luck. I know whenever we see season-ending injury or injury here or there, people are going to wonder, is this on the training staff? Is this on the player? Was the preparation right? To me, a triceps injury, that's just football, right? Like anytime you see these hard break injuries, so like a tricep tear or a muscle tear or a bone break for a football player, that's usually just impact related. That has nothing to do with preparation. The soft tissue stuff that's not impact related, right? If you have a lot of non-contact hamstrings going on or a lot of like cramps or Charlie horse stuff, like stuff that could be avoidable with proper preparation, proper stretching technique, all of these things. And if it's a player that doesn't have a history of it, that's where you start to look at the training staff. This injury isn't along the lines of that, so I don't think the training staff has anything to do with it. It's just bad luck, man. The Browns have had bad luck with injuries the last couple of years. We thought it would end in 2023 with all the insane injuries that they dealt with, but it's still happening. But it's still happening to the Browns right now. Like, they're having injuries pile up on both sides of the ball. Maurice Hurst is out right now. Alex Wright's out. Myles Garrett is dealing with a bunch of injuries. You flip on Jordan Hicks is also dealing with a bunch of injuries as well. You flip to the offensive side of the ball. Almost the entire offensive line is out right now outside of Joe Bitonio. Your starting tight end is out. And you have your starting running back still out from an injury that happened last year. So you're just dealing with a ton of injuries right now. And hopefully they stop at some point and you can get healthy again. Offensively, it's certainly looking like the Browns are getting healthier on the offensive side of football. I know Nick Chubb put out an Instagram post talking about how the Batman's about to be back and he's teasing a return. I don't know when Nick Chubb will return, but it seems like it will be within the next 21 days for sure that Nick Chubb is back. We'll probably get a good update on that probably Monday after this week's game. I'd be shocked if Nick Chubb plays this week. I'll just say it right here. I'd be shocked if Nick Chubb plays this week. I won't take it off the table that it could happen. I don't think it's impossible. I'm not going to rule Nick Chubb out right now, unless the Browns do after I upload this video. But I'd be shocked if Nick Chubb played. That's my personal feeling about it, given everything that's out there right now about Nick. He looks good. He's practicing. He did have pads on. I think this week we should just hope to get David Njoku back offensively. And if you get David Njoku back, I think that'd be a huge win for this team. But defensively, yeah, man, it's not great to lose Alex Wright when you already have a defense that you're looking at and saying, hey, we got to reshuffle the deck here with a lot of pieces. We got to get certain guys off the field in certain situations. You want to have as much options as possible. Now we're really just looking at Sam Kamara maybe playing more. Isaiah McGuire is going to have to play more. And again, Isaiah McGuire has been a pretty good run defender when he's been out there in limited snaps. I believe it's only 25 run defense snaps that he's been in. But when he's been out there, he's been a solid run defender. And maybe that might be a move that happens for the Browns that might benefit them in the long run. And my gut feeling is that if the Browns do make a move at the trade deadline, if they do trade for somebody, I think it should be on the defensive line. I think that's where you're going to get the most fruitful returns for any player that you trade for. I know Devontae Adams has been discussed, but I've talked about how I don't think that's going to be a great return on that. I know people have talked about the Browns trading their own wide receivers, but I don't think that's the solution either. I think the Browns, if they do make a move, they should consider making that move for somebody who's going to play on the defensive line of this team, because I think that's where they need it the most, because a lot about what makes this team able to win games is about the defense. And a lot about what makes the defense work is the play at the defensive line. And the thinner you get on this defensive line, the more and more that could erode. So I would really like to see them make a move. It doesn't have to be a giant move. You don't got to get a Pro Bowler or anything. But I think they should make a move in the interior, because losing Alex Wright means that you lose a half 3-tech and a whole edge rusher. So that's going to be something to look out for. But those are my thoughts on this. Feel really bad for Alex Wright. Y'all have a great day. Have an even better night. Peace.